all these people have built Rome, and I can't even build a successful TikTok because there are so many people that are not where they want to be. It's not just you, it's not just me. One step at a time, there's no need to rush. It's like learning to fly or falling in love. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Minecraft and Chill. I'm Shane. This is Shabang Gaming. And today I want to talk to you about being stuck, because it's something that's on my mind at the moment. So being stuck really comes in a lot of different shapes and sizes. In the world that we live in, I feel like a lot of the time it refers to job status, money, maybe creative pursuits. Maybe it's your living situation. But being stuck isn't a good feeling. That's my hard-hitting analysis on the topic. And being stuck means different things to different people. So, for example, I guess I can only talk from my own personal experience. I just started this YouTube channel, and I'm also in the process of job hunting. So, those are two big things in my life. I wouldn't say that I'm really... I was going to say I wouldn't say that I'm making progress in either of those areas, hence feeling stuck. But the funny thing about feeling stuck is that it doesn't even necessarily mean that you're not making progress. Because in reality, I am making slow and steady progress in a lot of things. My subscriber count and viewership for the channel. I have a couple interviews. I've gone for one. I got another one lined up, and another one that I may or may not get back to them about. I had gone a long time without even posting anything on YouTube, doing anything towards it, when I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And I felt stuck then. And I think then you could argue that I was more stuck than I am now, because I'm posting. I have stuff lined up for a potential job. By all measurements, I think you could say that I'm not stuck. But honestly, I feel about as stuck as I've ever felt. And I think that's what being stuck or feeling stuck does to a person, is it's really about your perception of what you're doing. Because there can be a person that does little to nothing every day. Not to sound judgmental, I mean, like, there could be a person that just, hangs out with their dog or watches TV, and that's all they do. And they could feel content, happy, like they're moving in the right direction, like they enjoyed their day. And then you have people who do a lot of things but don't feel fulfilled by any of them. Think about rich people in general. They got so many different responsibilities and constantly moving. You got people that can't sit still, and just spend their time thinking about what they have to do next and how they can make money here and what they gotta do for their job. And they can feel as stuck as anyone else. So relating that back to myself, I just feel like being stuck is more of a mindset. And this is really me trying to give myself advice as well. So I'll give you like a very actionable. I'll give you a very actionable example. I was just feeling negative about the state of my YouTube channel. I posted a short today / TikTok that I wasn't really into. I felt like the video that I took it from didn't really have enough interesting content for me to even bother posting it. But I'm trying to post every day. Post a short, post a small piece of content every day, regardless. So I think that's what tipped me into a more negative frame of mind. Like, I made this long video that I spent all this time on, and it wasn't even good enough for making a 30-second clip that people would actually like. So then I'm like, man, am I just wasting my time? Not wasting my time. It's more like, am I even doing as good as I plan to, or as I think is necessary for me to be doing this? Is it worth it for me to be doing this? Am I even going to be providing any value to people? Is my content worth watching? And I'm using that as a specific example, but you could apply that to any different walk of life. You may just view one thing that you do as negative and then apply that to your whole experience. And then if you view your whole experience as a net negative, you're going to feel stuck. Because what's the point of even doing the things that you're doing if you think that they're not doing any good? And again, the terms I'm using are more like specific to what I'm doing right now, which is trying to make it on YouTube, and also finding a job in the real world, or finding a job offline, because that's where I'm at right now. But maybe you're in school, and maybe you're doing well in school. You're doing well in school. All your grades are good. Your friend life is good. Your hobbies are good. But there's still that underlying feeling of, I'm not doing anything. Like, I'm not making progress in any direction. Everything on paper sounds so good, but how I feel is not matching how I quote unquote should feel. I feel like that's a state that I get in a lot, where like if you talk to someone about your situation, they're like, oh man, you're doing pretty good for yourself. And you're just like, am I? Am I actually? Is there like a standard for good? Like, how can I measure that I'm doing well? And that sounds super like analytical and numbers and facts based, but you know, everything in life is subjective. Yeah, everything in life is subjective. Including your perspective on how you're doing. Two people can be in the same exact position, and one person can hate their life, and another person can love where they're at. So I think perspective is one of the major reasons that you might feel stuck. Maybe you just have to look at things a little differently. Or maybe, objectively speaking, you're not in a good position. That could be due to anything, really. And as hard as it may be, depending on who you are, obviously I'm privileged in my own right, so it's easy for me to say, but trying to find a positive is never a bad thing. It'll always ground you in some way. But it's difficult. It's really difficult. Especially if you're going through like a legitimate hardship. Because you can take the smallest thing that really isn't a big deal and stretch it out into the biggest deal. So then when you have real issues, not only is it harder for you to, um, not only is it harder for you to feel positive, feel like you're doing well, but then it also puts into perspective all the things that you may have been dwelling on that ultimately aren't as big of a deal in comparison to what you're dealing with now. So I think that's where, like, put yourself in other people's shoes is helpful. I feel like I've strayed away from the topic. But it's just a tough feeling to feel like you're not doing what you want to be doing, or doing as well as you want to be doing. You're not progressing as quickly as you'd like to. But I was just reading this blog post, actually, that I saw on Twitter. Yeah, so I was reading this blog post on Twitter, and it was about, the gist of it was that we should, like, romanticize and appreciate being a beginner more than we do. Because generally I'd say being a beginner is looked at as a negative thing. And that's where I'm at right now with the YouTube thing. I feel like I'm not as good as I want to be. The numbers aren't as good as I want them to be. The content itself is not as good as I want it to be. And I feel overwhelmed when I think of all the things I have to do to get it to where I want it to be. So all that focus is on getting over being a beginner, getting over not being good, getting over my desire, not getting over, let me think about this for a second. I have this desire for progress and for change, but I don't have any patience about it. I want it to be done. But that's just not how life goes. You have to take baby steps. It sounds very cliche, but another quote I've heard that I like is the average person, something to the effect of, the average person underestimates, or no, sorry, the average person overestimates what they can do in a day, but vastly underestimates what they can do in a year. So appreciate being a beginner. Appreciate the small changes each day that seem like nothing, but then if you string them together enough, they're going to have a cumulative effect bigger than you would have imagined. While we're doing more cliches, another cliche that comes to mind that fits this theme is that Rome wasn't built in a day. But when you feel stuck, it feels like it has to be. It feels like, well, if I don't build Rome in a day, I'm failing. Rome should have been built already. What the hell am I doing? All these people have built Rome, and I can't even build a successful TikTok. I think the moral of this story is to be nicer to yourself, which is hard. I have that tendency to just really beat myself up about things. And I know a lot of people are like that. But when you're stuck, I think you're being hypercritical about your position in the world, about what you're doing with yourself. You feel like you're behind. You feel like there's a right way to do things and you haven't been doing it. But even doing this video and talking and relating how I feel to how another person may feel, that level of empathy and thinking about more than just yourself helps you get out of your head and have compassion Because there are so many people that are not where they want to be. It's not just you. It's not just me. So if there's so many people that do it, why do you have to view it as so wrong? Like, ugh, disgusting. I put out a terrible TikTok. Ugh, disgusting. I didn't get out of bed this morning. Disgusting. Not making enough money. How would you treat another person that are in the same shoes as you? You would want to inspire them. You would want to make them feel better. So why don't we do that for ourselves? So yeah, I feel like I'm not doing as well as I can. But I'm doing better than I've done. I'm doing as good as I need to. It's not about doing better than. Like, stop comparing myself in a way. Like, stop comparing yourself in a way that, oh, I need to do better than. I need to do. Just do. Just be. Sorry if I'm getting too hippie for you, but that's how my thoughts on the matter have evolved throughout this video. We got some wheat growing. I didn't come in here with a particular plan. I needed some food, so we got some fish. We talked about life. Hopefully, if nothing else, out of this video you can get that if you feel stuck, 1, you're not alone. 2, you don't need to be as hard on yourself as you're being. 3, nobody has it figured out. Not me, this random dude on the internet, and not the richest person in the world, whoever that is right now. Elon, Jeff Bezos. I guarantee they lay down at night and they're like, what the hell am I doing? And sometimes the only way to get unstuck is to just go through the motions. Like, I felt like before I made this video, I felt like, is it even worth it for me to do anything? Like, is it worth it for me to make any videos? And now that I've explored this topic, played Minecraft a little bit, and I've made a video for people that may or may not be seen, but I've expressed myself. I've expressed myself in a creative way. I've expressed myself, like my thoughts, out loud, and tried to relate them to others. And if nothing else, if that's being stuck, then I don't know what being stuck is. So by making this video, I've gotten unstuck. And hopefully I can help you feel less stuck. Because I guarantee everyone does. Whether they use that word, stuck, or lost, or discontent. Everyone feels that way. Everyone does. And we just slowly get unstuck one step at a time. One step at a time, there's no need to rush. It's like learning to fly or falling in love. Sorry. Oh, man. Don't be too hard on yourselves. If you watch this, thank you. I love you. Peace out.